Hey, remember Yukino? She's now back with Sabretooth. Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I just, after the previous chapters where everybody was making a big fiasco over who she should join with, and now it's officially Sabretooth. I just cue the intro. Nothing is the same way anyway. Nothing is the same way. Tell me we're all gonna be okay. Would you be there if they took this city away? Hey guys, Lunar Spider 27 here, bringing you Fairy Tail Chapter 346, Return of the Demon. Spoiler alert, guys! There is no demon. Anyway, the chapter begins with Lucy, Flair, and Wendy right after they defeated the treasure hunters. We actually learn more about Flair's backstory. When she was young, she lived in this village, and she hated the fact that she was different from everyone else. She was normal size, and everybody were giants, which was why she left, because she didn't want to be different from everybody. She was very insecure. But when she left, she never met anybody who was the same size as her, and that fear was slowly eating her away. She was very insecure, she was very afraid, so she ended up joining Raventail. However, unlike all the members of Raventail, she thought that, hating Fairy Tail was natural, which apparently wasn't. So, she was just going along with the flow in Raventail, unlike everybody else in that guild. So, right after Raventail was disbanded after the Grand Magic Games, she decided to return to her village, but she found all the giants and everything in that village frozen. She starts to cry, but Lucy comforts her, saying that they'll do their best to bring them back. But then Flair did say that the eternal flame can melt the ice. Well, it's a possibility that it will. And she actually knows where it is. So that saves a lot of time. Then we see the Xyz, Happy and Charles. Turns out that they didn't come back to Lucy and Wendy was because the skies were being monitored by this weird-ass bird thing with one eye. Meanwhile, Natsu is still trying to find the source of the voice that you heard when a part of that ice was melted from the moon drift. And that is all you ever get to see of Natsu, by the way. But then we come back to Erza and Minerva, and Minerva is beating the living shit out of Erza. I know that this is like Erza as a little girl, but she still looks like a little girl in this, and it's basically Minerva beating the crap out of a little girl. But then again, the reason why she was doing this was because she wanted to make Erza pay for the humiliation she had to go through at the Grand Magic Games. I mean, we all know how much of a sadistic, cold-hearted bitch Minerva was. I mean, remember the one time she beat the living crap out of Lucy at Naval Battle? Also, her torturing Miliana. According to Erza, this was actually one of her hypothetical theories. She said that it's possible that in order to dispel the magic spell, they probably have to defeat the one who casted it. Now, granted, I'm not really sure if that's really true, but we'll just have to wait and see for the chapters to come. Now we cut back to Gray. Yes, we see Gray, who has split up from the rest of the Fairy Tail members. He finds On Switch Guy, and this was something I forgot to point out in my other review. He's got these bottom fangs. He's got some facial hair on his face. I don't know what the heck was up with it looks like some weird looking marking on his face, and this kind of freaks out Gray a bit. So it looks like that Gray is gonna fight against On Switch Guy, and Gray turns into a little boy. So we got Erza, Natsu, and Gray. Wait, so does this mean that the heroes of this arc are gonna be Lucy, Wendy, and Flair? But the weird thing is that we didn't actually see On Switch Guy cast that spell. Come to think of it, I don't even know where the hell he was when Erza was turned into a little girl. I mean, how was he even able to cast the spell in the first place? I mean, are they supposed to look at him in order for that to work, or is On Switch Guy supposed to look at his opponent in order to use the magic regression spell or something? I don't know. There's still some things we don't know about his magic anyway. Now, when Gray was turned into a little boy, he started having flashbacks of when Deliora attacked his hometown. Hell, he even compared On Switch Guy to Deliora himself, and because he was reliving these memories, he starts to freak out. So Onswitch Guy tells him that whenever he uses his magic retrogression spell, the person who's transformed into kids relive and recall the moments from their youth. And of course, Onswitch Guy really enjoys this, saying that these are tears of fucking joy. Yeah, he loves seeing people suffer. So Gray's still freaking out over his flashbacks, and Onswitch Guy grabs his head, and it looks like he's gonna finish him off. But before he does, he decides to tell him this. In this world, there's a place that you mustn't set foot in. That place is called the Underworld, and you're standing right at its gates. Now, I'm not really sure what he really means by this. I mean, is this some sort of foreshadowing of what's to come later on, or is it the fact that the Sun Village is also where the gates of the Underworld is? I mean, it was mentioned about Hades or the Underworld, but I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking too hard on this. He's about to finish off Gray for real this time. You know, if Onswitch Guy wants to kill off Gray, I mean, he shouldn't like waste his time talking with it and just get it over with. I'm just saying. I'm not saying this because I hate Gray. I do like Gray, but you know, like think about it with the villain's point of view. I mean, you should just stop talking and get it over with. I'm just saying. Anyway, Gray also hears a voice. Not sure if this is the same voice that Natsu heard. That's still up for speculation. Anyway, the voice tells Gray that Deliora was gone and that he has to bring out his courage and defeat the enemies standing before him. Also, his friends are in danger. Mentioning friends, you know this means knock him a power up, and he actually manages to use his ice magic to set himself free from Onswitch Guy's grasp. We don't know who this voice officially belongs to, but at first we thought it was but it's not really Ul, because for those of you guys who don't know, Ul turned herself to ice to seal off Deliora. That ice was melted by Moondrip thanks to Leon, and the melted ice went to the ocean, and so basically Ul is the ocean, which also was why Ultear had those memories of her when she was born with his mother. Although I don't know how the hell that works because Ul is water, so how the hell was she able to use that magic when Ultear was in the ocean in order to see those memories? You know what? I'm just gonna let that stop. I'll just stop right there for the moment. But then again, in one panel when Gray said the next page he said tear. So the voice belonged to Ultear. That hasn't been really confirmed. But then again, how the hell does Ultear know about Deliora? Oh, also a bit off topic. When we see Kid Gray crying, we see a woman's ass. Subtle. Then again, I don't know who this belongs to. So anyway, thanks to that voice, Gray managed to regain composure over himself after his little flashbacks. And then he asked Onswitch Guy if he was the one responsible for freezing the entire village. But Onswitch Guy was all being vague because he was like, and if I were to say yes? Because we don't really know if Succubus Eye is really responsible for this or what their goals are at the moment. So the chapter ends with Kid Gray about to fight against Onswitch Guy, saying, then I'd say the ice magic you're using is disgraceful. Let me show you how it's really done. So, that is Fairy Tail chapter 348. What did I think? Well, I thought this was an okay chapter, but there's actually some things that did kind of confuse me. I mean, the voice that Gray heard. We don't know if this is Ul or Ultear. It's probably Ultear, but then again, the last time we saw Ultear, she aged into an old lady after she used Lost Ages to reverse time. So what, is Ultear already dead now? As I said before, it could have been Ul because she's now the ocean, right? So how are they able to hear Ul or Ultear's voice from the ice or from wherever? I guess it was from the flashbacks he was living through or something. I'm not sure. Hell, we don't even know if this is the same voice that Natsu heard when that part of the ice was melted from the Moondrip. Now, I did like learning more about Flare's backstory. Now, she does know where the Eternal Flame is, but is it going to be enough to melt all this ice? Probably. We'll just have to wait and see how this turns out. I'm going to make a couple predictions of how this fight will turn out. So, here it is. Gray fights against Onswitch Guy. On Switch Guy manages to beat up Gray for a little while, so Gray starts to struggle. But then probably Gray will either have some sort of inspirational moment, Nakama power up, friendship, fairy tale, whatever, or probably because of hearing the voice of Ultear. Don't know who it is, but we'll just have to wait and see. After hearing that voice or having the Nakama friendship power up, he will manage to beat On Switch Guy, and hypothetically, if On Switch Guy is defeated, then maybe the magic spell will be broken, it will be dispelled, so everybody will change back to their regular forms. And if that does happen, and if that is true, then Erza will manage to regain her magic abilities to the way they were before, and she will beat the living crap out of Minerva, and that would be it from Minerva, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, that's my prediction of how this might turn out. But then again, Gray has been affected by the retrogression magic that On Switch Guy inflicted upon not only him, but Natsu and Erza. His magic, his offense and defense has been completely weakened. If he is able to beat On Switch Guy, even though his magic was weakened, then that would make him stronger than Natsu, right? It's kind of hard to believe that Gray might win, but then again, he is one of the main characters of Fairy Tail, and after his supposed death, when he fought against one of the cyber meta dragons, I guess that he might beat him. I don't know if I will call bullshit or not, but I have no freaking clue. Anyway, next week's chapter is going to be called The Demon's Dryad. I don't know what that really means, but since On Switch Guy was being compared to Dryad, which, by the way, the reason why I'm calling him On Switch Guy because he looks like he has an on switch on his head, and we don't even know his name at the moment. So maybe we're gonna see more of the Gray and On Switch Guy fighting, since On Switch Guy has been compared to a demon. And who knows? Maybe this fight might last longer than the fight between the girls and the treasure hunters. If not, then we'll probably learn that there is probably another demon that probably caused the Sun Village to freeze over. I'm not sure, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens next week. So overall, I thought this chapter was okay. There's still some questions that need to be answered, but maybe they will in due time. All I know is that the Eternal Flame will be revealed, not sure when, but we'll just have to wait and see. I still want to know what is Succubus' deal, what is their intentions, and what did On Switch Guy meant about the gates of the underworld. I mean, one of the gates of the underworld I think was mentioned before by Cobra, so I don't know if this is going to come into play in this arc, but we'll just have to wait and see. So, yeah, that is Fairy Tail Chapter 348. I'm Minerva 27, and I will see you guys later. Bye.